The Zephyrian interrogation chamber had broken 1,000 species. Its bioneural walls pulsed with psychic dampeners, and the gravity fluctuated between crushing weight and nauseating weightlessness. Commander Vextar had personally overseen the breaking of rebellious minds from across 17 star systems. None had lasted more than 72 standard hours. The human had been here for 3 weeks. Marcus Chen sat in the center of the chamber, cross-legged on the cold metal floor, eyes closed in what the aliens couldn't comprehend was meditation. His prison uniform was torn and stained. His body bore the marks of their enhanced questioning techniques, but his breathing remained steady, controlled. "Impossible," hissed Vextar through his translator. The Zephyrian's forearms gestured in frustration as he watched the monitors. His neural patterns show no degradation. The pain amplifiers should have shattered his consciousness by now. His subordinate, a nervous creature named Kilth, shuffled closer. "Commander, perhaps we should increase the psychic pressure. The humans are supposed to be a non-telepathic species. He shouldn't be able to resist." "I've already pushed it beyond safe parameters," Vextar snapped. "Any higher and we risk damaging our own equipment." Through the viewing portal, Marcus opened his eyes. They were calm, almost serene as he looked directly at the observation deck. He couldn't see through the one-way barrier, but somehow his gaze found Vextar anyway. The human spoke, his voice carrying clearly through the chamber's audio pickups. "You're wondering how I'm still sane?" Vextar's primary hands clenched. The human wasn't supposed to know they were watching. The soundproofing was absolute from their side. Marcus continued, slowly rising to his feet. "You think pain is supposed to break us. You think isolation, sensory deprivation, psychological warfare, you think these are tools that work on every species the same way." He stretched, working out the kinks in his muscles. "But you've never met a species that chooses suffering." "What is he talking about?" Kilth whispered. Vextar didn't answer. He was accessing the human databases they'd captured along with their prisoner. Earth, a world that had never known peace. Humanity had spent their entire evolutionary history at war, with nature, with each other, with extinction itself. "Humans don't break," Marcus said, beginning to pace the small chamber. "We adapt. You want to know my secret? I spent 3 years in a North Korean prison camp before I joined the Colonial Defense Force. This," he gestured around the chamber, "this is a vacation compared to what humans do to each other." The human moved to the wall and began what Vextar recognized as some form of exercise routine. Push-ups, using the chamber's varying gravity as resistance training. Every human child learns about the Bataan Death March, the siege of Leningrad, the camps of Auschwitz. We tell ourselves these stories not to glorify suffering but to prepare for it, because we know it's coming. It always comes. Vextar found himself leaning forward despite his growing unease. "But here's what you really don't understand," Marcus said, now doing pull-ups on a protruding pipe. "You're not just torturing a human. You're torturing a human who volunteered to be the first prisoner, who knew exactly what you'd try to do to him." The commander's blood ran cold. "What does he mean, the first prisoner?" Marcus laughed, actually laughed as he continued his workout. "Did you really think we'd send our colony ships out here without scouting first? Without intelligence gathering? Every human you capture from now on will know exactly what to expect. And we've been preparing for this conversation for months." "Conversation?" Vextar activated the chamber's communication system. "Human, you are in no position to—" "Marcus Chen, serial number 7749 Delta, Colonial Defense Force, Earth," Marcus interrupted, snapping to attention with military precision. "And I formally request to speak with your commanding officer about surrender terms." The chamber fell silent except for the hum of machinery. "Surrender terms?" Vextar's voice cracked through the speakers. "You are our prisoner." "Am I?" Marcus smiled, and it was the first genuinely warm expression he'd shown in weeks. "Because from where I'm standing, I'm exactly where I need to be. Inside your most secure facility, having provided 3 weeks of detailed behavioral analysis to the nanoprobes in my bloodstream, which have been mapping your technology, your defenses, your psychological profiles." Kilth began backing away from the console. "Commander, the medical scanners are designed to detect biological threats, not microscopic Earth technology," Marcus finished. "You've been so focused on breaking my mind that you never thought to check if I was breaking yours." Warning lights began flashing throughout the facility. Vextar's command screen lit up with alerts from across the Empire. Communication networks failing. Defense platforms shutting down. Administrative systems locked. The nanoprobes were just the delivery system, Marcus explained conversationally. The real weapon was information. 3 weeks of studying your language, your protocols, your command structures. My AI companion has been quite busy. Impossible, Vexitar breathed. Our cyber defenses were designed by a species that never had to deal with human creativity, Marcus said. You know what the difference is between humans and every other species you've conquered? They built civilizations despite having everything they needed. We built ours because we had nothing. The facility's main power died. Emergency lighting bathed everything in red. Every human knows the story of the Trojans, Marcus said as the chamber door began to cycle open. Sometimes the best way to infiltrate a fortress is to let yourself be captured. Through the failing communication systems, reports flooded in from across the Zephyrian Empire. Worlds in revolt. Fleets turning against their commanders. The entire administrative structure collapsing as enslaved species found their chains suddenly unlocked. You wanted to break a human, Marcus said, stepping out of the chamber as his rescue team arrived. Humans who had been hiding in plain sight as maintenance workers for weeks. Instead, you handed us the keys to your empire. As the facility fell and the Zephyrian fleet found itself outmaneuvered by human tactics they'd never imagined, Vexitar realized the truth that would echo across the galaxy. You don't capture a human captures you. The species that had spent millennia conquering through fear had finally met the one species that had spent millennia conquering fear itself. And in the end, that made all the difference.